Hi, everybody, and welcome back, and welcome to a pretty nice day in the neighborhood. A little chilly. The good news is, as nice as it was, and there was some sunshine, and it really went a long way to making it a really nice Wednesday and a nice day in the neighborhood. This is as bad as it's going to get temperature-wise for the next several days. Temperatures rebounding, 60s and 70s. Beautiful conditions for the rest of your work week. Your weekend not quite as clear sailing as what I'd hoped, but not all bad. We'll outline a continued warm pattern that, well, will it be sticking around indefinitely for the rest of spring? I'm not going to go that far, but definitely throughout your forecast period. And that is, of course, after a freeze warning in effect tonight from around 11 tonight to around 10 o'clock in the morning. My apologies. A whole lot of ground to cover weather-wise, and that goes for the program as well. Literally, reports upon reports from around the region, some local, some area as well, that we'll try to get to at a later date because we're already full with programming. Going back to Montgomery County, the Montgomery County Board of Education meeting last night. Spring break was discussed. A certified nursing assistant program, a summer feeding program. A lot of information, attendance rates as well. A lot of information to bring you, and we'll cover all of it in brief tonight, as well as a Montgomery County man charged with defrauding a woman in Montgomery County out of thousands of dollars, promising to install a heating and air conditioning unit in her home for which he never purchased or installed. We'll also talk about two viewing area grandmothers charged with assault of their grandchild and a case of animal abuse and assault that reportedly resulted in a couple of arrests thus far and two dogs being stabbed here in Montgomery County in just the past recent days. I'll tell you what I can on all of those fronts and some other news and information in just a few moments. First and foremost, an important meeting tomorrow night for anything related to our veterans. Now, this is anything for anyone serving in that capacity or who has a veteran in your household. Tomorrow at 5:30, a very wide regional meeting, and there will be a host of individuals, representatives from Veterans Affairs. The Commissioner of Veterans Affairs is actually going to be in Sagersville. Veterans Hospital representatives from Hal Rogers' office, and the list goes on. There will be updates on the hopes and what we now believe the likelihood maybe to some degree of getting a veterans nursing facility here in Montgomery County. If you need medical services, if you want to find out more, give comments or suggestions about your current veterans services, medical or otherwise, there will be someone at this meeting. 5:30 tomorrow here in Sagersville at the Montgomery County Community Center, specifically the Lloyd M. Hall Community Center in downtown Sagersville, as we always like to refer to it correctly. So keep that in mind. That is tomorrow night, 5:30 here in Sagersville. Something for all veterans, certainly, to say the very, very least. Something for just about everyone who's got a parent, who has a child in the Montgomery County school system. Parents, too. A great deal of ground covered, as I referred to just a few moments ago. We'll talk about spring break and some other big things and a lot of other programs as well. We will first, however, begin with a special recognition of two groups of scholastic individuals, some younger people from the Sagersville Grade School academic team, and some others who have gone back to school. First off was some special recognition of some outstanding student achievers at the Sagersville Grade School, specifically members of the Sagersville Grade School academic team, who in only their fourth year of a team placed in the district and in the regional levels. That's right, students placed in both the district and regional levels, and in elementary school, regional is as high as it goes. They don't get to go on to the state. Out of 11 kids on the team, 4 placed in the district and 2 placed in the region. And all deserve a round of applause and support from the school system and the community. As do the second group of individuals, a little older, who have also cleared a major hurdle, doing so at the Montgomery County Learning Center. Students who have gone back to get either their GED or high school diploma, and have done so under Director Vicki Jo Howard, as well as the instructors and teachers at the Learning Center. They too recognized for their outstanding scholastic accomplishments. From there, Financial Officer Kevin Owens outlined how the district is still trying to cut some costs. They lost the Universal Service Funds, which they had received for years, which covered originally up to 90%, and then more recently, all but about $6,000 or $7,000 a month of the phone, data, internet service bills for the entire school district. And now the district is having to pick up that entire tab themselves, so they're trying to find ways to cut back on the about $14,000, $15,000 a month bill. One way is possibly cutting some of the each and every outside line that's in each and every school room. Basically, each room has its own phone number and outside line. They're looking at consolidating that and hoping that it will cut some costs. Director of Pupil Personnel, Terry Watson, outlined attendance for last month, saying it was pretty rough going. Only a few days, had over 90% due to a lot of illness. They are hopeful with the weather improving that those numbers will also improve. Right now, about 0.5% better attendance than this time last year, so on the bubble. Next, high school principal Chris Meadows elaborated on ECHO, informing everyone about a collaboration between the middle school and the high school and the Magoffin County Community Foundation, together hosting a talent expo coming up, focusing on and showcasing student artwork, band performances, and more.
And that will be on Thursday, April the 13th, here at the high school. There will be a pre-show starting at 6:15 where people will have time to walk around and look at the various exhibits and hear different musical performances stationed throughout the building. I think they're even working on one of those canvas painting classes to be done in the art room with Henrietta. And then at 7, there will actually be a talent showcase. There will be an intermission, concessions will be sold. And the purpose of this with Scotty B. Patrick and the Community Foundation is to train our students in our community to give back to the community and to showcase their talents in doing so. So what they're going to do is the money raised through this production will be given to the Community Foundation, and then we've been told that Mr. Patrick will then match those funds and give it back to the school system.
On the same subject of ECHO, Superintendent Helton confirmed that it was his original intent to have this not just as a way to reach out to the community and also showcase all of the student talent, but also it's going to be a fundraiser where the students are going to understand about raising some funds and then donating that to the Community Day Foundation. However, the foundation is insisting that they match the money that the students raise, and that the students and school find a proper way to invest that in their future or future activities. Superintendent Helton also referred to the system applying for and receiving a reading recovery grant, which will greatly offset a recent loss of funds and grow reading in our schools.
We applied, as a board, I explained to you that we applied for a grant that was a reading recovery grant. 3 elementary schools applied for that grant. We actually were awarded 2 of the elementaries, and that's $50,000 for each elementary school over the next 2 years, and then we can ask for it to be renewed for an additional 2 years. So we know starting next year we've got Sarville Grade School in North Magoffin. They're getting $50,000, and that money goes to improving our reading scores, and they're going to have it's geared to hiring a reading specialist at the school that works on reading recovery efforts, and some of the money will go towards some training that they have to go to in the initial year, and then the next year it will go towards salary. So that will help us offset some of the cost of a position. Now, does that mean we're going to gain an extra position? Probably not. We've lost some enrollment, but it maintains some jobs.
From there, Helton confirmed something that has been on the minds of a whole lot of students and staff in regards to the spring break schedule. He says they will not be taking any or all of spring break from the calendar. It will remain the week of the 3rd through the 7th of April, so spring break is still very well intact and can be expected to stay as such. The board voted unanimously to accept the resignation of Donald Helton Jr. from the school board. I'll have more information on the application process as it becomes available later. They approved a summer lease agreement with Appalachian Services to spend the summer in the Harold Whitaker Middle School gymnasium. And Andrew Oliver, food service coordinator, discussed the summer feeding program, which is coming back this summer. He says that they're looking at having the program at the same sites, adding a second mobile route, all beginning the first full week of June and going through July the 28th.
We're looking at Sayersville Grade School again. That's the one we used last summer as the meal prep site. And then we've got the same, we did College Heights, we did Allen Drive Apartments, and then we did the Mountain Parkway Trailer Court. That's the 3 sites we did for the mobile last year, and then we're going to add 3 more sites, and they're not really decided upon yet. And then we've got the 2 returning churches that had worked with us last summer.
And after approving the summer feeding program, they also approved an agreement between the school and Big Sandy Community and Technical College, a nursing assistant program, a free program for students without their GED or diploma that would allow them to work toward a certified nursing assistant degree or certificate.
Following upon the lead of Vince and Angie on their work-ready communities, we found an opportunity. It's through Big Sandy and Accelerated Opportunities in Adult Ed, and it would be a free program for students who do not have a GED or diploma, and they will work towards a nurse aide degree, a CNA, certified nurse aide, while also working on a GED. And it would be free of charge. They would receive anything they need, stethoscopes and scrubs
But now you're working in conjunction with Big Sandy, correct?
yeah. And they actually preferred that we come to like Mayo or Big Sandy, but we really wanted to do it here because of the work ready community. And so I talked to Vince, and he was willing to let us use his classroom.
And in a final order of business, the school board approved the 2017 senior trip for 85 McGoffin County High School students. Seniors will leave on Friday, May the 12th, return on Thursday the 18th, spending 3 nights in Washington, D.C., and 3 nights at Virginia Beach, with about 10 to 12 chaperones. And with the meeting adjourning thereafter, we'll adjourn and be right back after a few commercials. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Now it's time for calendar announcements and more on tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau Community Calendar. Don't forget about breakfast with the Easter Bunny, Saturday the 8th at the McGoffin County Health Department. It's $5. That gets you in to see the Easter Bunny, where you can take all kinds of your own pictures, and you also get pancakes and sausage and bacon and drinks. It's just a great deal to hop on down to at the McGoffin County Health Department. Kindergarten registration is actually 2 weeks, April the 10th through the 21st at South McGoffin Elementary. Just letting you know now. That's if your child is going to be 5 years old on or before August the 1st, they're eligible to register for kindergarten, and they can do so at South McGoffin Elementary beginning April the 10th. If you have any questions between now and then, call 884-7325. And the 5th annual Rockin' Barkin' Barbecue, say it 3 times real fast, I dare you, hosted by Whiskers or Wags. Their annual event is coming up on April the 8th, that Saturday at the Paintsville Country Club. Plan on attending. Wonderful entertainment. Tim Elkins, Troy Burchett will be there. An incredible barbecue meal, a whole lot of fun, entertainment, and just a great time with a whole lot of like-minded people trying to make some dreams come true. Supporting the Johnson County Animal Shelter. And in funeral service announcements, a reminder of those to be held Saturday at 11, Graveside services tomorrow at 6, as it just had on your screen, for Gabriel Ryan Hutchinson, infant son of Kevin Hutchinson and Kimberly Spradlin, who passed away on the 19th. Services are to be held Saturday morning at 11 for Carolyn Sue Shepherd Rose of Hazard, who passed away on the 21st, formerly of McGoffin County, the daughter of Pastor Robert Shepherd and the late Margaret Bailey Shepherd. She's also survived by her husband Ronnie Rose and her daughter Gabrielle Fletcher. Visitation will be after 6 tomorrow, all day Friday, and prior to services Saturday at 11. Visitation and services from the Church of the Eternal God. McGoffin County Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. And we're told of the passing of 81-year-old Minnie Porter Arnott of Oil Springs, who passed away on the 21st, preceded in death by her husband Morris. She's survived by a daughter, Frankie Lapardis. A celebration of life is to be held at a later date. Now for the first of several arrests in McGoffin County and the viewing area for that matter in the past several hours, beginning with an arrest that is still pending that relates to tonight's report. It does so in the manner that I reached out to McGoffin County Sheriff Carson Montgomery earlier today, who at that time and for much of the day and afternoon, along with members of his department, were in Breathitt County conducting a search, at times literally going door to door after a tip that Nick Patrick had been seen in the Breathitt County area earlier today, a man still sought after. It's for those reasons that the sheriff and his deputies were in that location that I couldn't get much more information than police citations, which were available on tonight's report. They were at last report this afternoon still looking for Nick Patrick. He's the man they identified, as I have to you, in a couple of reports since late last week as being wanted for at least 2 burglaries, or at least being in possession of a great deal of items related to 2 burglaries, those from the Carver Church in McGoffin County a couple of weeks ago, and a Kubota side-by-side and a lot of other items from a Reed residence on River Road just days ago. Patrick has been seen in the McGoffin and Breathitt County areas for the past several days on and off, and authorities have just missed him on a couple of occasions by only a few moments. If you have any information about the whereabouts of Nick Patrick, who is right now wanted on receiving stolen property with other charges expected to be filed, you can contact the McGoffin County Sheriff's Department at 349-2914. Now on to the first of several arrests to be reported tonight, beginning with a case of animal abuse, assault, and criminal trespassing alleged against 3 individuals. In the uniform citation, filled out and signed by McGoffin County Sheriff's Deputy Brian Tipton, it outlines events that the citations say took place back on the 13th day of this month. That was a week ago this Monday, with the arrest taking place yesterday, as at least 2 individuals have been lodged in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center on charges of assault, criminal trespassing, and cruelty to animals. Tipton's citation says that he was called to a complaint at Bloomington, and once he was there, he found the victims, and they told him that a Travis Wallen drove 2 people, David Ousley and Brittany Bailey, to their home following them from Sagersville. The victims told the deputy that Brittany Bailey took a plastic pipe and began swinging it at Nancy Perkins, and then that she grabbed another individual, that being Brittany Bailey, grabbed a Tasha Howard by the hair and then began a physical altercation with her, fighting her. He says that at that point, for his investigation, David Ousley got out of the car and then struck Tasha Howard in the head. And at some point, either before he threatened the victims or after, he is reported to, or have alleged to, stabbed 2 pit bull dogs belonging to the victims, to the extent that one had to be put down on the scene and the other required medical treatment, stitches from a veterinarian, from which the animal is expected to recover. As of right now, 2 people are jailed, that being Travis Wallen and Brittany Bailey, both on counts of criminal trespassing in the 3rd degree, assault in the 4th degree, and cruelty to animals in the 2nd degree. I've also confirmed that the Sheriff's Department has a warrant in the name, an arrest warrant in the name of David Ousley, at this time. The charges on that warrant I'm unsure of, but they are expected to be similar to those filed against Wallen and Bailey. Another arrest to relay to you this Wednesday, the first of a McGoffin County man charged with defrauding a McGoffin County woman out of thousands of dollars, similar to charges that he's already facing. Wright was jailed earlier on today's date on a charge of theft by deception, cold checks under $10,000. He was actually jailed by a Johnson County Sheriff's Deputy, Deputy Hazlett. The facts of the arrest are unknown as to how Hazlett came to find or cross paths with Wright, but Hazlett served a warrant on Wright out of McGoffin County that was filed by a victim who stated to the McGoffin County Sheriff's Department that last October on the 17th, she wrote a check, a $2,300 check to Wright for him to purchase and install a 3-ton air conditioning and heating unit at her home, and that since that time Wright has numerous times and repeatedly promised to come and install the unit, but as of the date of the citation and the complaint, he was yet to do so and had not performed any of the agreed work, nor had he used any of the money to purchase the unit for the victim. And the victim had asked for the money back, to which she was told by Wright that he didn't have it. Therefore, charged with theft by deception, including cold checks under $10,000, Wright was still in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center as of this afternoon. And we have to note that this is a very similar case and charges to an earlier report that I aired several weeks ago, in which he is alleged to have defrauded another McGoffin County resident in a similar means by promising to do work, installing or repairing a heating and air conditioning unit, and taking a large sum of cash up front, and then not performing any of the work or purchases that were agreed upon. And two viewing area grandmothers have been charged in just the past several days, both in individual cases, with assault in the 4th degree of a child, both cases involving their grandchildren, 12 years of age or younger. First case comes out of McGoffin County and goes back to last week on Friday when the McGoffin County Sheriff's Department, specifically Deputy Steve Montgomery, details in his arrest citation that he cited 55-year-old Jerry Allen of Sagersville for assault in the 4th degree, assault of a child the age of 12. His citation says that Allen reportedly slapped or allegedly slapped her 12-year-old granddaughter with her hand on the victim's left side of her face, to the extent that it left the imprint of her hand and fingers on the child's face, and that she also threw a fan, some sort of a household fan, at her as well. Allen was lodged in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center on the charge of assault in the 4th of a child and has since bonded out. Meanwhile, a Johnson County grandmother identified as 56-year-old Karen Stanley is alleged to have kicked her granddaughter, a 10-year-old child, twice. In this police report, it's the Kentucky State Police who says they responded on Monday of this week, night before last, and found that Stanley was under the influence. Their citation describes her as being in a belligerent state. The state police investigation also says that it was Stanley's son who told police that it was his mother, the child's grandmother, that indeed had kicked the child twice. State police say that upon their investigation they could find evidence of the attack or the strike against the child with bruising or other injuries, and that as a result Stanley was arrested and charged too with 4th degree assault of a child, as well as alcohol intoxication in a public place and disorderly conduct. And with that covered, let's cover your forecast. Powered by Licking Valley RECC. I've got a wind out of the, well, technically right now, out of the southeast at 6 miles per hour. We should see those shift more to more of a northerly fashion, and from the northeast around 5 to 7, I think. And mostly clear skies should also follow, as well as a low bottoming out at around 23 degrees tonight, hence the freeze warning in effect from 11 o'clock tonight until early morning hours tomorrow. And that might be the last one. It's definitely the last one for the forecast period. And that's about as far as I'm willing to stick my neck out on the line. Keep my fingers crossed. Spring's officially here, and we've got a spring-like forecast. Got to be a few more cold mornings coming at us, but nevertheless, 62 tomorrow after a cold start on your Thursday. 46 tomorrow night, sunny. Some clouds tomorrow night. They're not making anything, just some mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures Friday, 70, partly sunny. A beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood. 52 for nighttime lows under mostly cloudy skies. 2 more days of the work week for most everyone, and 2 really nice days in them. Now, as for your weekend, I kind of hoped we were going to have a couple of good breaks, and they were going to be kind of good as far as the time was concerned. Now, maybe not quite so much. Saturday, I do think we'll start off dry, definitely warm at around 73, 74 degrees, but mostly cloudy. A 10% chance of showers, and that's not until after 5 o'clock. So I'm counting on pretty much a dry day, definitely warm, just a few clouds. I think we'll even possibly see a little sunshine. The clouds will get in here in the afternoon, and then by Saturday night, that's when we expect to see some showers, and they're going to be likely, and that's going to be late. I think mainly after 9 o'clock or so. So a mostly dry day on Saturday. That's a nice thing. They're not going to be out of here as quick Sunday as of right now as we were thinking 24 hours ago. Right now, Sunday still looks to be right around 70, but cloudy and showers with possibly some thunderstorms during the day, and chances still likely at night. We're talking about a 80% chance across the board Sunday, and still a 60% chance of lingering showers Sunday night. So not getting out of here as quickly as I had hoped. I do think by Monday they'll be out of the neighborhood. Partly sunny and 73, but another round of rain makes a return and a run by the time Monday night rolls around. Looking beyond that, still 70 on Tuesday, but a wet Tuesday, and 67 and a little sunshine returning on Wednesday of next week. Well, while that's certainly going to wrap it up for tonight's show, because we're out of time, certainly not wrapping it up for being out of news. We'll pick it up where we left off and cover some other exclusive news and information when we see you back here tomorrow night for more of Your News Today. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and see you then.